organizational management and a master's in business. He retired in January of this year and says he won't even put a Band-Aid on anyone anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, David Williams.
Thank you, Troy. Years ago, I was kind of bored one night, so I started reading the paper. And right smack in the middle of the front page was an article about the local ambulance service. It said, space-age technology coupled with advanced training and modern organization was being applied to saving life and limb on the highway and in the home and in the factory. If you're interested in saving lives, come Monday evening at 7:30. Well, I ran right down there, and the bays was 2 square white ambulances. Each had 47 red lights and the words Mobile Intensive Care Unit painted on them. In the next room, the EMTs with their orange jackets all covered with patches and insignias was having a meeting. They was yelling and arguing and voting. I sure was impressed by how much they seemed to care about their life-saving work. I must admit I was a mite disappointed when I found out they were discussing the food for the annual picnic. After filling out the application form in triplicate, the membership chairman asked me why I wanted to join. I said, I want to ameliorate pain and suffering, intervening in situations that threaten life and limb, and provide high levels of emergency care in order to reduce morbidity and mortality every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And he said, son, that's fine, but can you lift? Well, I became a probationary member and enrolled in an EMT course. In addition to the orange AAOS textbook, I read Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine, Gray's Anatomy, Tabor's Cyclopedic Medical Dictionary, Modern Critical Care Practices for the Emergency Department Physician, 3 years back issues of the Annals of Emergency Care, and every issue of the EMT Journal that has ever been published. Our first test only had one question. It said, in a complete, well-organized paper, explain shock. And I thought for a minute, it not being an easy question. And then I wrote, an all-encompassing definition of shock is elusive, since its varying forms represent extremely complex pathophysiological chemical processes. Simply stated, shock commences when there is inadequate cardiac output and hypotension caused either by impaired cardiac function or by reduced venous return resulting from hypovolemia or relative hypovolemia. I went on to explain the presenting clinical picture, vasodilation, the neurohumoral defense mechanisms, orthostatic hypotension, and the latest studies regarding the development of shock sequelae in the traumatized patient. The next night, my instructor said, son, don't you ever hand in 17 pages of no nonsense like that again. He said, do you take me for some kind of fool? There's no room for a smart guy in my class. Well, he must have been right, because I sure had a problem with the state's written exam. Half of the multiple choice questions didn't have the right answers one of the choices. Since I'd had experience in government work, I got most of them anyhow. Well, I passed my course and became a full-fledged member of the squad. I got 1 orange jacket, 2 chrome collar pins, 1 wallet-sized ID card, a 8.5 by 11 state certificate suitable for framing, and I was also put on the call-up roster every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. I was also assigned a special executive function. I was put in charge of straightening up stock and cleaning up and washing both ambulances. I learned a lot in my first 10 years as an EMT, both about emergency care and about straightening up stock and cleaning up and washing ambulances. Our squad meetings are Monday evenings. The advanced trauma class meets on Tuesday and Thursday nights, and I'm still on the call-up roster every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. But to make sure I was involved enough in the squad, and because I was the only one available on Wednesday evenings, they put me on the training committee. At our first meeting, we were discussing the problems on CPR calls. After listening a few minutes, I said, the rising back pressure in the last third of the inspiratory phase commonly causes a loss of mast cell resulting in inadequate ventilation. The combining respiratory acidosis and poor blood oxygen levels provided by external cardiac compressions impact poorly on salvageability. I recommend we train our paramedics in the art of endotracheal intubation or esophageal obturation for use with arrested patients. Well, my medical director rose to his feet. From under his jacket, he pulled out a 3-foot caduceus and struck me repeatedly about the head and chest. He said, "Son, that's ridiculous." Said, "If we let you intubate," said, "you might do someone some harm. After all, you're not a doctor." Well, on his recommendation, he appointed me to the State EMS Council, which coincidentally meets on Wednesday evenings 85 miles away. It's been 5 years now since that committee meeting. I'm on 8 state, local, regional, area, and national committees, and I attend 20-some meetings each month. I must admit I've never seen any trauma or insult on the streets or ED that mildly holds a candle to the fighting and bloodshed that goes on at every single EMS meeting. I've learned a new meaning for the letters EMT. They also stand for extraordinary masochistic tendencies. Now, I don't want to leave you all with the wrong idea. I wouldn't trade being a certified EMT or my membership in the National Association of EMTs for anything in this world. Why, just last month at our annual banquet, right after the fresh fruit supreme and the cold prime ribs, beans, and mashed potatoes, I received an award. Although it still gets me a little choked up, I'd like to share the inscription with you. It said, son presented for 15 years of ameliorating pain and suffering, intervening in situations with threatened life and limb, and providing high levels of emergency care in order to reduce morbidity and mortality every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And 4, straightening up, stocking, cleaning up, and washing both ambulances all these years. Thank you.